What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm about to go on a run right now, but when I get back, I'm gonna show you guys my post-run recovery routine and how I incorporate soft tissue, mobility, and just movement throughout my day to stay healthy and injury-free. Guys, it's an empty street right now in Austin. It's pretty damn cold in Texas, and a lot of people in Texas, when it gets this weather, they stay the hell inside. And some people I know that are like getting into running, but like don't want to run in the cold. I always tell them though, I'm like, if you only run when it's perfect out, that means you're allowing the external conditions, external factors to dictate your behavior. You're not gonna always get to choose if it's perfect out or if it's beautiful. So adapt your mindset to understand that you need to be able to just tackle anything that life throws at you, whether it's cold, heat, hail, snow, rain. Adapt your mindset, change your framework so you can adapt to your environment regardless of the circumstances. Finishing up here the pickups today, so kind of like speed play, fartlek workouts. We did 30 seconds fast, 90 seconds slow jog recovery. We did about 8 rounds of that. So in total, about a 16-minute workout, 1 mile, 1 mile, 1 mile cool down. 4 miles, baby. Love to see it. It's time to get some fuel in, dog. You already know the deal. Dark coffee all day. This is how easy it is to make a French press, people. Get one of these for 20 bucks, grind your beans, toss it into this thing. If you didn't know, for your coffee lovers, it's actually the highest form of coffee is when you grind the beans and then consume it. That's why coffee shops, baristas, charge you guys that much money to drink coffee like that. So don't get your freaking coffee beans already grounded. Get a grounder and do it yourself. Oh, this smells amazing, dog. There's nothing like a cup of Joe in the morning. I've been following the Huberman rule, and I saw my buddy Jimmy post about this, about drinking caffeine 90 minutes after you wake up. So it works out perfect. I'll go run. I woke up today around 6:30, so it's been about 2 hours already. This is gonna hit once I'm done out of the shower, but this is gonna sit here for 5 minutes. That's my morning French press in the morning, dog. Morning supplements, I'm pretty simple. Start off with some AG1 Athletic Greens, and I put a scoop of BPN's Strong Reds. So this is kind of like your multivitamin. Then with that, I'll take ProMix bone marrow and then beef liver pills. Bone marrow is super good for like tissue repair. And just honest, wait, hold on. It's tissue repairs for which one? This one is tissue repair. I was right. So bone marrow, tissue repair. It helps with gut healing and immunity. And then your beef liver is really good for gut health, mood, energy, and it helps your digestive tract and your liver and stuff. 6 each. Only 1 dropped. Take 2. I'm ready to go, baby. Now it's time to shower up. Woo! Shower's done, baby. Time for some coffee, and then let's get into our recovery routine post-run.
Matt, do you add anything in your coffee?
Sometimes I add in a little bit of mushroom adaptogen, specifically in the morning. Shout out to my buddy Ben from Malama Mushroom. Lion's Mane, if you guys don't know what this is, it's an adaptogen. It's really good for focus. It's good in the morning to kind of just get you jump started. I've been doing this for about a year, and it's just a really nice addition, and you can't really taste the difference. So I'm gonna give you some of this too, Chris. Ooh. I'm real simple, dog. If you know me, you know I like coffee and coffee frickin' ice cream. Oh, there's nothing better than that first sip of coffee. So we're gonna start our recovery routine, and I'm gonna just break it down into 2 concepts for you guys. The first is a form of soft tissue myofascial release, right? Whether that's with a foam roller like this. Shout out to Trigger Point, kind of released balls like this, kind of similar to a lacrosse ball, but different shapes. This is like a softball. And then there's just more static stretching. And there's good times to utilize both soft tissue mobility and then static stretching. Right after I'm done with the run, I'll like to do soft tissue work first, just because it's more of a massage, right? Like you're kind of breaking down the tissue. And honestly, when you've worked your calf and your legs a lot through running, this is one of the best things you can do to prevent injury and to stay healthy. When I first got into running, I did not have this as a priority in my recovery routine. But now in the past year, this has been a staple that I try to do 20 minutes a day, whether it's in 5-minute increments throughout the day or 10 minutes right after a workout, 10 minutes before I go to sleep. If you guys learn nothing else from this video, incorporate more soft tissue into your routine and just watch how much better you feel. So let's get into it. Let's start with the foam roller first. This costs $10 to $15 on Amazon. This is your first entry into soft tissue work because it is a low barrier of entry. So once you get your foam roller, there's a couple ways that you can roll. Right? First, we're gonna just start getting both legs on the roller. When you guys first do this, you might be uncomfortable. Like this might be a lot of pain. So you might need to drop your butt down and slowly roll with your butt on the ground because this is all about leverage, right? The more I put weight into my leg, if I go one leg, this is gonna be a lot more painful than if I was just doing what I showed you guys, right? So based on your level of myofascial release and your tissue tolerance of this type of pain, be mindful of how you incorporate it, right? So ease into it first if you're just getting started. If you've been doing this before, then you can take some of the things I'm gonna show you and put it into practice. But just keep that in mind, guys. It's just like you're running, right? Like you can't just get gung-ho your first day and go rip a half marathon. If you do, you're gonna feel shitty. If you try to do this and just really kill your calf or kill your legs, you're gonna feel this the next day. So for some of my more advanced runners, after you just roll your calf out, right, like we've been doing, a nice tip is to keep the foam roller right on your calf and slowly go left to right to really just like break down some of the tissues there in the calf. If you find a knot, hold into it, get like 3 deep breaths, and then kind of get into the next position. Something I really learned from Kelly Starrett when it came to even controlling your breath. People want to control their breath on a run, but if you can't control your breath in a soft tissue, in a mobility routine, or even in a stretching routine, it just means that you don't own that position. And it's something that you should then use that as like a trigger point, like, all right, hold on. Let me try to hold this stretch for 3 deep breaths or hold this trigger point for 3 deep breaths. It'll give you a good insight that you can own that position. I need to practice more. But next up, trigger point balls or lacrosse ball. Like this is gonna probably be where most people are gonna start. If you wanna invest into something like this is like a softball. This is once again, just like a lacrosse ball. These are really good for getting deeper into certain positions that you might not get with the foam roller. It's also a much harder object, which then is gonna break up a lot of the tissue in your guys' legs. Once again, about building leverage, right? If you're gonna build it start on your glute, start with just one side. Put your weight into the trigger point ball, and then you're just gonna start to move around. And this is something, guys, a lot of it is about a feel, right? It's like is there a point right there where you're really in pain? If it is, then hold that position. Everyone's gonna be a little bit different, right? So I think the best thing about myofascial release, about stretching, about understanding your body is that you guys have the best knowledge about yourself. You know what areas are tight. You know what sides might be a little bit imbalanced. Even though you might not know how to fix it 100%, you have an idea of like where you have pain, right? Throughout my years as an athlete and working with a bunch of really smart PTs, the biggest lesson I learned was that all humans can perform maintenance on themselves. And if you look at your body just like a car, your car needs an oil change. You need to change its tires and brakes and all these things. Our bodies act in the same exact way. And if you do daily maintenance, 5 to 10 to 20 minutes a day on your body, you're gonna feel so much better and have longevity for the future. Next, we're gonna talk about end range mobility and stretching. A lot of people get confused with static stretching and kind of mobility, right? Because at the end of the day, a static stretch is me just holding my leg out and just holding this position, which there's good things for that. You'll get a little bit of stretch in the hamstring, but there's smarter ways to actually incorporate flexibility, stretching, and quote unquote mobility into your routine. The 2 main things for runners that really people need to focus on is hip extension and hip flexion. One of the best exercises that you can do to get yourself into hip extension is the couch stretch. You don't need much for this. Get a nice foam pad like this, or just use a pillow if you don't wanna buy this off of Amazon. Then get yourself set up against a wall, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your knee as close to that wall as possible, Once you're there, you'll notice how you're in this 90-degree angle from your knee to your ankle. And notice how your ankle now is also in that plantar flex position. Then you're gonna drive your knee up forward, kind of into that runner's lunge. Some of you might be so tight right here that this is getting uncomfortable. If that's the case, then hold this position. Keep your hands down on the ground and just hold this. Maybe you're working through some different angles in this position, right? A lot of people think static stretching is just, oh, I'm gonna hold it. But as I'm stretching this, guys, notice how much movement I'm creating. Our bodies can contort and they can move in so many different angles, but you need to expose them in those angles first, right? So if this gets easy, slowly bring your hands up. Maybe your hands are on your knee. Maybe you can get into that full extension where, look, my butt is on my freaking heel. Guys, my hip right here is having a major stretch right now, okay? This is one of the best exercises for hip extension. If you don't feel comfortable doing this against a wall, I'm gonna show you guys how you can use your couch to do this properly. And as its name is said right there, couch stretch. Use your couch, watch TV and do this. Next, we're gonna talk about hip flexion. And this is actually gonna be more of an exercise. It's an isometric hold. All you need to do is try to lift your knee up over 90 degrees, pointing your toe down, and test how long you can hold this position. A lot of people will struggle to even get this range. Maybe you're gonna just try to work your 90 degrees there. Ideally, 30 seconds on each leg is a good base test. Once again, guys, this isn't your normal like static stretching, right? You're getting yourself and you're working your body still, but it's not like how we used to get taught, oh, stretch your hamstring, do this, stretch your hip flexor, do this. But this is a very active way to keep your muscles ready to go. Then we're gonna do some rolling out of our feet. This is something that a lot of runners need because if you have plantar fasciitis, if you're dealing with shin splints, a lot of times it's because your feet aren't getting enough care. There's a couple ways you can do this. Most times it's gonna be done standing, but what I found is if you actually have something to hold on to, you're able to dig deeper into actually rolling the feet. So I like using my pull-up bar here, so let me show you guys. So if you guys have a pull-up bar like this, you'll see I'm gonna hold on to this bar. And as I'm rolling my foot out, I'm still actively pulling on the bar because I'm really trying to press onto my foot, especially into that middle fascia of the foot. You guys are gonna feel this. This shit is no joke. Next, this is how I stretch my calves. The lovely slant board. If you don't have one of these, it's okay. They cost about 50 bucks on Amazon. But if you don't wanna buy one, you can use your staircase or just use the regular floor. I love this for doing low level stretching. So many people frantically stretch. They go freaking crazy, try to get as deep, as end range as they can, when in reality, your body needs to be in a calm state for it to repair and heal itself. So a low level calf stretch that I love to do, and I love doing this as I drink coffee or brush my teeth in the morning, but it's having your heels on the ground, keeping your toes on the slant board and just like really owning this position, just holding it. It's a very light stretch, but if you hold this for 30 to 60 seconds, you'll feel a nice pulling sensation in that calf. Boom! That's the recovery routine after a run in the morning, people. Just remember, soft tissue, mobility, end range, flexibility, all of those things are really good components to add into your recovery routine. If you're just getting started, just sprinkle in 5 minutes of daily maintenance and just see how much better you feel. If you're more advanced, maybe you're doing 10, 20, 30 minutes of dedicated mobility time. Whatever it is, incorporate it in. I hope you guys liked the video. This is the office. I'm about to get started with some work, record a couple more videos, but hope you guys liked it. I'll see y'all in the next one. Deuces!